Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Carthage, in front of the Legacy Theater, which happens to be a very interesting part of a complex here that you may have not kept up with through the years. Used to be Carthage College, then it was Robert Morris College, then Carl Sandburg College, then there was an abandoned period, but now this section of town is back alive again and thriving. Like I said, the Legacy Theater is part of this. We're going to tour this later in the program. But Doug Groth, you were instrumental in a lot of this because your company, Carthage Veterinary Services, bought the old campus buildings. And when I say it's thriving, business is pretty good, isn't it?
Business has been very good to us, and we were happy to, at the time we were growing and continuing to need more space and office space. The campus was what used to be an eyesore here in town as a kind of a community development for us too, but we needed the space, and so it was kind of a fun project to dig into.
You know, when you come into Carthage from the Macomb side, it's one of the first things you see is what was the old abandoned campus, and it wasn't much. It didn't do much for Carthage, did it?
Yeah, it was. When I first came, it was the first time it was. They windrowed the lawn off the central campus, so it looked awful.
Yeah, we look across the street now, and you can see that you've updated the one building there, which is your headquarters for Carthage Veterinary Services. What goes on in there?
So that building houses Carthage Veterinary Services and Professional Swine Management, two kind of sister companies that operate from that facility, and it is our corporate headquarters that we operate out of. And all 4 floors are office space now for our company, and we've moved into that and continue to take up more space as we go.
Yeah, your company's doing very well, and it's hard for those of us that aren't in the ag business to understand, but these large herds of hogs around the country, many of them, the nursery part of that is managed, and that's part of what a company like yours does, doesn't it?
Yeah, part of our specialization is on the farrowing side of it and taking care of the mothers and raising those baby pigs, and so it's more labor intense period and dealing with that, and so our specialty is kind of managing that labor and managing the facilities and getting those weaned pigs out to owners. And
give us a scale of how many hogs you might be caring for at any given time.
Our management company would take care of about 170,000 sows.
Wow. And that's just the sows?
That's just sows.
Wow, okay.
And so you'd produce over several million pigs a year. And then our veterinary care would oversee the health of those, plus another 300,000. So we probably look over almost 500,000 sows as a vet service.
Oh, remarkable. Right next to the building we were looking at there, it looks like it would have been an old administration building of some kind. You use that too, don't you?
Yes, that used to actually be the dean's office, and the library used to be on the back side of it. And now we've created a new a training center. We kind of refer to as the Carthage Learning and Development Center. And we've made awesome meeting rooms in there for up to like 50 people. We've got some conference rooms upstairs. Then the back side we've made mock pig buildings. So everything in the pig building, from ventilation to feed systems to equipment, we've put in there, everything but the squeal of the pig.
Okay, everything but the hog, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so you train people from around the world. They come in here to Carthage to learn the latest in veterinary services.
Veterinary services and production practices. And so we've been very fortunate to train our individual people that we work with here locally in the region, but then we also do a lot of stuff, particularly with China, and housing them quite a bit. And part of the campus is additional dormitory space is just across behind us that we
utilize. It still looks like the old dorms, and that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a dormitory, yeah. So there's 2 of them there, and we've renovated the first one and we use that to all 3 floors that we've had full at one time with people in there. And so each floor has its own kitchen so they can eat and stuff in there, but some of these visitors will come stay with us for 6 months at a time.
And then next to that building, then there's another old Sandburg building too, which was the music hall, which was adjoined to this theater at one point.
It was before the addition here when we did the major renovation, and so it was all part of the hall coming through there, and it's been emptied out and kind of waiting for repurpose or tear down. We can't, depending on what our purpose can be there, but we're working with the city on that to kind of see what the long-term plan is.
Okay. There's more to talk about here, but it's cold out here. So what I want to do is let's go inside the theater. We'll talk about how this became the property of the city of Carthage, and then we'll take a tour. Okay?
All right, sounds great.
Well, Doug, let's continue the conversation. We're in the lobby now, and it's perfectly updated and useful. You got shows in here. This is a great place for people to congregate before they go in. They buy their tickets here at the box office. But how did it get from being the property of your veterinary services to being a theater that's owned by the city of Carthage?
It's interesting that when we first bought the property, that we'd been communicating with the president of Carl Sandburg Community College about a part of a bigger project and wanted to do some things. And so it came to be that we kind of worked on the project, said, all right, we'll gift this whole block, except for there's 2 houses on the corner here where the theater is. There's a parking lot and everything. We gifted that to Carl Sandburg, is how the initial started. With a big grandiose plan was to renovate the theater, potentially add a new gym and a new fitness center that would work with the community, the school districts, and kind of tie all that together. And so, you know, things change, and the times in the community college took some stress, and so got the renovation done. A beautiful theater here that we've got everything ready to go. But the second and third steps to the project have kind of been put on hold right now, and so that's fine. But with the changes that have come, Carl Sandburg just wanted to be rid of the property, and so it was. We worked hard with a couple different people, and the city of Carthage was very gracious to be able to take it on and be the landlord. And then the rest of us, several of us community members, formed a foundation then. It's a 501c3 corporation that would help run the facility for them. And so the city of Carthage is our landlord that now the foundation then can help run it, rent it out, take care of things, and do things. So, you know, we have 2 different functions there. We're putting shows on to help generate dollars to keep the lights on, so that you know, local dance companies have the recitals here now and stuff that they can rent it out. The high school rents it out for freshman orientation, and very much a community hub of activity. So it's been kind of fun to see the transition and have it come through.
And Carl Sandburg College now is no longer in the picture.
They're not part of the facility anymore.
So it's owned by the city and it's run by the foundation. Is that okay?
Yep.
Well, it seems to be working out pretty well.
Well, it's we learn stuff all the time. None of us are in the theater business originally. Right. We all have day jobs separate from this, and so it's been we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here as we go. And this going into year 2, we're really, I think, coming into having, you know, getting the schedule out ahead of us and getting things on a calendar so we know, get ticket sales, and you know, before we were just kind of trying to feed the fire to keep it going, and it's been a lot of excitement and pure energy and volunteers. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you.
Rob Carson, we're looking at your calendar of events for 2018. It's ambitious and it's pretty full.
Yes.
You guys work hard to put together shows, don't you?
We have a committee that's is called a performance committee, and we start with a clean sheet of paper, and we try to find what we find are affordable, great entertainment acts for the theater that fit the demographics of our area, which is good, family, wholesome entertainment. And then we start going down through the pecking list, and we've put together a group of, we're pretty excited about what we have coming this year. We have we have a really close tie with Branson, Missouri. So we kind of feel like we're bringing Branson to Illinois. This last year we had the Hughes brothers and the Duttons. This year I think we're having the hottest group in Branson, which is an a cappella group called Six. They're going to be here in June, and then the Brett Switzer from Branson, and then one of my favorites, Johnny Counterfeit's coming in. He's an impersonator and a comedian. So we're real excited, and we try to, as I say, hit all aspects. Dueling pianos. We have coming real soon. We have a magician, and we just try to provide great entertainment for the entire tri-state area.
And this isn't all the theater will be used for, because things come up, either local things, or you might find out about a group that's going through town and you can book them. So you'll add to this, won't you?
Oh yes, we're looking at probably 30 plus events. The schools, local schools use it for their spring theater. They use it for commencement. It's definitely a community theater. It's here for everybody's use. We try to keep the fees really reasonable. So anyone that has, local churches have brought in Christian acts. It's just a multi-purpose facility.
This is a good example right here. Your local photographer Terry Newell, who most people around here know,
Yes.
takes these photos for you. And this is one of a Branson act that came on through it.
He's fantastic at catching the what you're looking at.
He
This was an act called Branson on the Road, and it's a funny story on that. Branson on the Road is what we were calling our summer series last summer, and we got a phone call from these folks saying, "Hey, you know, we have that registered. Branson on the Road is a registered trademark.
So you better book
Please
us, right?"
cease and desist." So we said, "Well, why not come up and play for us?"
There you
and
go.
they were like, "Well, great, yeah, we'd love to." And they were fantastic.
Lawsuit's gone now.
Yeah, everybody's happy. It worked out perfectly.
Here's another. This is a Branson group here.
This is the Duttons. They're a family out of Branson, Missouri. That very multi-talented. They were actually on, I think, America's Got Talent a few years back. They were one of the finalists. They were here in July and put on a fantastic
Your
show.
stage is plenty big.
Yeah.
Liverpool legends.
This is a group that we caught last year on their way through. They have played anywhere from the Rose Bowl to some of the biggest in the world. In fact, their manager is John, not John, but one of the Beatles' sister. And
No
she
kidding.
actually shot a video for us to help with the marketing, and we had a great one night, sold out the house.
Hughes Brothers.
Hughes Brothers were basically our first big connection when we were a bunch of local guys that didn't know anything about theater, and we were thinking Branson, Carthage, Nauvoo all had a great fit, and we called these guys. And funny story there's 5 brothers, there's 5 wives, there's their mother, and there's probably 35 or 40 kids. And they all come up. They all come up, and we put them. There's a dorm right across the street from the old Carthage College, and we put the whole family. They stay in the dorms while they're here. Yeah. They just have a wonderful time. There's 48 of them on stage at one time. Goodness, it's amazing. They've been here. I think they've done 11 performances.
You're one of the few places that could put them up.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah. This is one real close to my heart. This was the last performance in 2016, December of 16, of The Christmas Wish, which was the show that we started first 10 years ago when the facility was in disarray. And this was our final performance. And the gentleman there, the young man, is actually, his dad is from Carthage. They live in Los Angeles. Yeah. And they have he's an RCA recording artist with the band Weathers, and they came back just to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of The Christmas Wish.
Well, and that's what got you started, and that was back then. This place was ramshackle. You didn't even have heat. You had people in here for a Christmas show, and you didn't even have heat.
Yeah, I don't know how many health codes we probably violated that first year. We had the facility had been sitting empty for 15 years. This beautiful facility, and 8 foot of water in the heating plant. Oh, God. The seats were less than inhabitable, and no heat, no light. The community came together. We cleaned the facility. We had a cast of 60 put on a show of the music of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We packed the house 3 nights, local people coming in, salamander heaters, no porta potties out front. It was 20 degrees. Everybody was in their coats and huddled up, and it was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
That's terrific. Hey, the best place to see this whole thing from is upstairs in the balcony, which you guys also did a lot of work on.
Absolutely.
Let's go up there next.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Well, Rob, it all looks new up here.
This was pretty much our last project that we've done to date. When our group took over the facility, the stage floor was still the original floor, and one of the requests from some of the artists was it was a little treacherous. So with the help of a group from Nauvoo, we put in a load springing floor for dance and all, and they actually came in and installed it for us. And then this was our latest project when the junior college was doing the renovation, ran out of money towards the end of it. So this area up here was just open. So our group went together and found some seats. We put in an additional 83 seats up here. And then we have an area that we've set up here for VIP, and it's kind of we can go 2 different ways with this part of the facility. If it's a big number facility, a big show, or we can offer a bargain balcony ticket for the folks that want to come see the show, but maybe the ticket's a little cashier. We can offer more reasonable. But what we've really found has worked is as a VIP, kind of like going to the skybox at Busch Stadium or whatever. You can come up. We set this up with snacks and beverages, and then we bring in the talent. We do a meet and greet. The Hughes Brothers came up and sang a couple Christmas songs to the group.
Neat.
And then they head down, and folks have a seat. And as you can see, it's a beautiful place to watch a show from here. So.
And the stage is, if you've got a big show, the stage is big enough that from up here, you're really not too far away.
No.
You can catch it all from up here.
We advertise that there's not a bad seat in the house. Because, if you're in a bigger city, you're 18 rows back, that's considered VIP. Well, we only have 18 rows. So you're sitting in VIP no matter where you're at. And even the back row in the house has a wonderful view. I actually, when I come into a show, this is where I go. I like to stand up here because you can see everything that's going on the stage. It's one of my favorite spots in the theater.
And we look down up to look down. You can see that you all have added that catwalk. That gives you some options too, doesn't it?
Yes. When this facility the old facility had a drop ceiling, and when it was removed, it was an old plywood and probably not the code. So that's pretty much a state-of-the-art catwalk where we can hang lights. We can set up different schemes, and we've even talked where you could hook somebody up with a cable and fly them around.
You could do a Peter Pan or something like that.
Yeah, so it's all done to code, and it's really a state-of-the-art.
And you can hang the projector.
Yes,
which is another thing.
We do movie nights.
You can see movies.
Yeah, we actually have movie nights in here free for the kids. We usually try to theme them around a holiday. Like we'll do a Polar Express at Christmas, or we'll do Arthur the Bunny at Easter, and provide free movies so mom and dad can bring the kids, come in and watch a movie right here in Carthage without having to leave. So,
we haven't visited the stage yet. Let's walk down there next. Okay?
Sounds great.
Rob, over the last 12 years, you've probably seen a lot of small town theaters that have been trying to come back to life.
Yes.
And I have too.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, yours is really one of the best.
I don't really know how it all came together. It was, I think from where it started to where it is today, has taken so many people and so much effort from the community and everyone around to get us to the point where we are today. It's just amazing to me the way the human spirit came together and made this facility a reality.
Baby steps, one at a time, right?
Exactly.
And if you stick with it, now 12 years seems like an eternity, but it probably went by pretty fast, didn't it? Because you were always moving along,
always
moving
something
ahead.
going on. When it first started, to say that this was the finished product we were looking for, nobody in their wildest dreams thought that we would be to this point. And to have this state-of-the-art facility in a town like Carthage, Illinois. But what I say all the time to people is, I say, this is a regional theater, and what makes it work is that somebody comes and buys a ticket and sits in a seat. And we have had such wonderful response from everywhere from Quincy to the Burlington to Macomb. I walk in here to see a show, and I may only know 20% of the people. They're coming from everywhere to come and enjoy a great show here right at the Legacy Theater. It's a dream come true.
It's big enough. This is nice too. You got ADA space here for people that might have wheelchairs.
Yes.
All new. I guess the seats are they look new. They're all new. Huh?
Yeah. The previous seats were not built for me. they were pretty good. So when they put the new seats in, they're extremely comfortable for even a guy my size. It just and they made sure that it was set up for ADA. We're all accessible, and then we made sure that when the artists come in, they are treated wonderfully. And as you see when we go to the back, you'll see just how wonderful this.
I'll bet you got an education when you're dealing with these talent groups. They have very specific contractual needs.
Yes.
And when you're saying, "Hey, we just want you to come play," it doesn't quite work that way, does it?
Yeah, there's you have your contract for what it costs to get them here. But like in the case of the Hughes brothers, there's 48 in that group, and we put them up over the dormitory.
Yeah.
We have to feed them. And then we have to meet all the writers for light and sound, and we've got a wonderful support group out of Western Illinois University. Some of the guys that work over there, and some sound guys that we just send them a writer sheet, and
and that's the contract that the artist says this is what we need, right?
Yeah.
And if I look back here, I'm looking up at this rack of lights up here. That's probably, you probably don't own that. That's probably owned by your contractor.
Exactly.
Is that right?
And what he does, since he does so much for us here, he'll leave it in between shows, and sometimes we'll be able to match them for 3, 4, especially during the busy summer months. He pretty much leaves sound here for the summer months. Brandon Wright is his name. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic contractor.
It's great you
for
could
us.
find somebody locally to do it too.
Oh, and is the best. They just come in, and that's why you get referred. The Branson show started with the Hughes brothers, and now we have acts from Branson contacting us saying they would be interested. And coming up and performing for us. And for a customer, a person that's coming to buy a ticket, it's not 10 hours away. You can come, you can be from Macomb or Quincy or Burlington or the Quad Cities. You can drive 2.5 hours, see a Branson show, get back in your car and sleep in your own bed that night.
And probably not pay as much for a ticket.
Exactly, and not have to, hotel rooms and all that.
Yeah.
And we've had our last show for the Christmas show with Hughes Brothers. We've actually, our afternoon matinee, we had 4 buses from the tri-state area where they were bringing in seniors and folks where they could, get on the bus at 9 in the morning, see a show at noon, go eat a meal here in town, and be back home and
Great way to spend a day.
That night. Yeah, it's a fantastic. This
is the floor that you put in for dancers. You can feel it's got some spring to it.
It's got some spring to it. Yeah, they the Hughes brothers and all have quite a dance group, and there was ripples in the old wood from all the water and all the. So one of the first projects we did was we got with a group of the missionaries from up to Nauvoo. They actually came in. We provided materials, and they put the floor down, and just so many partnerships we've had over the last 10 years where I can't think of anybody really that's ever said no. I just said, I don't know, maybe we don't know how to do it, but I've never had anybody just say flat, no, we're not going to do this. And that's just been a real joy for the community and for the whole area.
Well, the stage goes back pretty deep, and it's big enough for the kind of shows you need to put on. But even behind there's green room and some other space back there. So let's take a look back there first. Okay, this looks familiar to you, doesn't it, Rob? Because you spent a lot of time cleaning up back here.
Yeah, this is what I guess you would call the green room. This is staging before the performers go on out on the stage. It's also / storage. It's where we put sets and sound equipment and everything that we are keeping for the next performance. But this is what you would call a green room. Yeah. It looks a little different now than what it did 12 years ago.
You also, this is kind of nice, your main parking is back over here.
Yes.
Your main parking lot. So you've got a double door where anything needs to be delivered. You can bring it right in here.
Pull it right up with a
no
Tommy
steps,
gate
no
or
nothing.
whatever. Yeah, we just unload right through the doors, and you can pull it right in and make it happen.
Yep. And back here, let's see. I know where I want to go. Oh, I know where. Let's go down to the bowels of this place, okay? Because there's an interesting story there.
Yes. When this building had sat empty for 15 years, and we were trying to figure out a way to showcase it that it could be brought back. One of the first places we came was the old power plant, and if you look down there, you can actually still see where the plasters went off. The water. The power had been shut off, and there was a lift station down there. And the next rain, the water was up over the top of the door.
The top of the door?
8 foot of water in there. So we brought in a gas pump, and we pumped it out, and then literally every time it rained until we got some things in here to fix it for good, we would have to pump it out. Because 8 foot of water would come up.
You're lucky.
You know what water does to a facility over time. It's amazing that the facility is what it is today, the way it looked back in 2006.
It's amazing nobody got electrocuted walking around.
After we pumped it out, we were, the electrician from Memorial Hospital and I, Rob Bianalino, were sloshing around in there. he said, you know, the power's been on to here the whole time, and we both kind of froze. We really didn't realize we were walking around with hot electricity with water. I still to this day don't know how that didn't trip the pole, or how him and I didn't light up like Christmas when we were down there walking around. But
gracious.
it's been this whole thing's been a thing of miracles for the last 10, 15 years. So.
Well, I'll tell you, it's beautiful and modern and bright, and it's clean. It would be a good show experience, I think, for just about anybody.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go back up, because you got the dressing rooms. When you're dealing with talent, you want them to be happy, because they're going to want to come back someday.
Absolutely.
You want them to come back someday. Let's go back
Let's
up.
go take a look.
We were talking about keeping the talent happy, right? So you got to have nice dressing rooms.
Yes, and this was kind of at the very end of the planning. One of the local musician girls said, you know, you got to take care of the entertainment, and so there's matching men and women's dressing rooms that have full lighting, and when you're an artist and you come in here, you really feel like you're at a theater. Fun story, when Christmas show, we had a bunch of 10 and 12-year-old girls that were in our children's choir, and they thought they were famous. I mean, being in here with the boba lights and being in for the whole show.
Well, and plus,
and you can look in the facility. If you bring in a headliner, they don't want to go out and hang out with the crowd. They can actually
they've got their own restroom and a shower.
And many of them are traveling on a bus. So to be able to be in a stand-up shower that isn't sloshing around, they really, really like that. It's a big piece of it. So.
Well, Rob, thanks for the tour. We really appreciate it, and it's a great story. What's happened here is just a terrific story. Thank you very much.
Oh, so much.
Yeah,
so glad to have you with us. Thank you.
Starting this spring now, of course, one of the big acts coming will be Midwest Dueling Pianos. Then they've got a summer package of 3 shows that are going to be kind of blockbusters. So you might want to look for the Legacy Theater this spring and this summer as they continue their 2018 season. With another Illinois story in Carthage, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.